the sun, an ancient titan of light and fire, forever blazing in the center of our solar system, a beacon that has both nurtured life and threatened it with its untamed ferocity. So bright, so hot, and so overwhelmingly powerful that it has dominated the heavens for billions of years. Now imagine, just for a moment, that you have the audacity to launch yourself into the heart of this cosmic inferno. Imagine boarding your ultra-heat-resistant spaceship designed by the finest minds humanity has ever produced, embarking on a voyage so daring that even the stars themselves might look on in wonder. You're not just visiting the sun. You're about to get so close that you could almost reach out and touch it if you dare. The sun is no ordinary star. It is a leviathan, a celestial giant whose mass makes up a staggering 99.8% of our entire solar system. Everything, planets, moons, asteroids, comets, dances in its thrall, held captive by its gravitational might. With a colossal diameter of 1.4 million kilometers, nearly 870,000 miles, the sun could swallow 1 million Earths, and still have room to spare. And yet, it burns with such serene grace, its brilliance a result of the titanic nuclear forces at work deep within its core. For the past 4.5 billion years, hydrogen atoms have been fusing to create helium, releasing unimaginable amounts of energy in the process. This is the ancient engine that has kept our solar system alive, but it is not eternal. In another 5 billion years, when all its hydrogen has been consumed, the sun will turn to helium, growing ever larger, expanding into a red giant so vast that it will engulf Mercury, Venus, and even our own Earth. That apocalyptic future is distant, but inevitable. So if you ever wish to touch the sun, you had better do so before it decides to reach out and touch you instead. With a sense of reckless adventure, you set course for the sun, a journey unlike any other. One might think that with the sun's immense gravitational pull, falling into it would be simple. In reality, it's anything but. Earth races around the sun at an astonishing speed, nearly 108,000 kilometers per hour or 67,000 miles per hour, moving almost sideways in its orbit. To travel straight to the sun, you'd first need to cancel out this tremendous sideways motion, a task that demands a monumental expenditure of energy. Approximately 55 times more energy than it would take to send a ship to Mars. Only a vessel with capabilities akin to NASA's Parker Solar Probe could stand a chance, accelerating to breathtaking speeds of up to 163 kilometers per second. Even then, the journey would not be measured in days or months, but in years. 3 long years would pass before you even brushed the fringes of the sun's domain. At last, you would reach the outermost layer of the solar atmosphere, the corona. This ethereal shroud, visible during total solar eclipses, stretches millions of kilometers into space, a halo of plasma shimmering against the blackness of the void. Here, the temperatures defy all logic. Despite being so far from the core, the corona blazes at 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the sun's own surface by a factor of hundreds. It's a mystery that has puzzled astronomers for centuries. Exposed to such a searing environment, you would need to slather yourself in an imaginary sunscreen so potent it could withstand not only ultraviolet radiation, but deadly gamma rays. Radiation sickness, cancer, and death would be but moments away without the most advanced shielding technology humanity could dream of. The sun's brilliance would be overwhelming, tens of thousands of times more intense than anything you ever experienced back on Earth. Ordinary sunglasses would be laughably insufficient. Only a specially engineered sun shield integrated into your heat-resistant spacesuit could spare your eyes from being seared blind. Venturing deeper, you would pass into the chromosphere, lying just 3,000 kilometers above the visible surface. Here, a strange phenomenon would occur. The temperature would actually begin to drop, ranging between 3,700 and 7,700 degrees Celsius. The chromosphere would shimmer with a crimson hue, and massive loops of plasma would periodically erupt into space, solar prominences, towering structures of incandescent gas that could stretch to lengths 10 times greater than Earth's diameter. These colossal, glowing arches would dance and twist with lethal beauty, each one a masterpiece of chaos crafted by magnetic forces beyond comprehension. Below you, the surface of the sun, known as the photosphere, would finally come into view. But the term surface is misleading. Unlike a solid planet, the sun is a vast ocean of superheated plasma. Attempting to land would be as futile as trying to step onto a cloud. The photosphere would appear granulated, a tapestry of bright cells the size of Texas surrounded by darker boundaries where plasma sinks back beneath the surface. Gravity here would crush you with an unimaginable force. If you weighed 70 kilograms on Earth, your weight would now soar to an overwhelming 1,800 kilograms, enough to collapse your bones and organs instantly. Only the shielding of your ship could save you from such an end. Undeterred, you would descend further, plunging into the convective zone where the true fury of the sun is born. Temperatures would climb to a staggering 2 million degrees Celsius. Here, light itself struggles to escape, trapped for centuries in a turbulent sea of rising and falling plasma currents. Immense columns of boiling gas would buffet your ship, their brilliance so intense that it would be like sailing through the heart of a star. You would be adrift in a world where particles and energy collide in a never-ending frenzy, the ultimate cauldron of creation. At last, pushing ever downward, you would approach the very core of the sun, some 500,000 kilometers below the surface. Here, in the darkest depths, the alchemy of the cosmos unfolds. Temperatures soar to 15 million degrees Celsius, and pressures reach a crushing 250 billion atmospheres. This is the crucible where hydrogen atoms are forced together with such violence that they fuse into helium, releasing photons of light that will take thousands of years to fight their way to the surface and burst forth into the universe. And now, in this unimaginable realm, if you dared to reach out and touch the sun itself, you would meet an instant and spectacular end. It would not be burning. It would not be incineration. It would be annihilation on a scale beyond comprehension. Crematoriums on Earth reach temperatures of 1,000 degrees Celsius, but here you are facing millions of degrees. No material known to humanity could withstand such conditions, not even for a microsecond. Metal would vaporize, molecules would shatter, and even atomic nuclei would be ripped apart in the ferocious embrace of the sun. The closest we've ever gotten to this infernal titan is still a cautious 1.6 million kilometers away, a distance that, for now, represents the boundary between survival and oblivion. Perhaps I should have mentioned that at the beginning. But where would be the fun in that? You could, if you chose, linger a while longer, floating amid the fury of nuclear fire to witness the slow, grand changes that will someday spell the end of the Earth itself. In 5 billion years, the sun will swell into a red giant, its outer layers expanding to consume Mercury, Venus, and yes, even our precious blue world. But that is a cataclysmic tale for another time, another daring what-if adventure. Until then, the sun will continue to burn, continue to shine, a steadfast guardian and a relentless destroyer. A god of fire suspended in the endless night of space, waiting for the next brave soul foolish enough to try and touch the untouchable. You could, if you chose, linger a while longer, floating amid the fury of nuclear fire to witness the slow, grand changes that will someday spell the end of the Earth itself. In 5 billion years, the sun will swell into a monstrous red giant, its outer layers expanding to consume Mercury, Venus, and ultimately our precious blue world. Oceans will boil away, mountains will melt into rivers of molten rock, and every trace of life that once danced under starlit skies will be swallowed by the furnace that first gave it breath. But that cataclysmic story is a tale for another time, another daring what-if voyage into the mysteries of the cosmos. For now, the sun continues its eternal vigil, a brilliant sentinel against the dark, a force of both creation and destruction, a god of fire that holds the fates of worlds in its grasp. It will burn, it will shine, and it will wait, until the next soul dares to get close enough to try and touch the untouchable. If you enjoyed this journey beyond the limits of human imagination, and you want to explore even more awe-inspiring adventures through the cosmos, make sure to subscribe to my channel, Deep Space Digest. There's a whole universe out there, and we've only just begun to explore it.